If Princess Diana's forget-me-not spoke of compassion and memory, Queen Elizabeth's favorite flower told a story of constancy, humility, and renewal. Her choice was the lily of the valley, a small plant with white bell-shaped blooms that carries one of the sweetest fragrances in spring. But the story of Lily of the Valley begins long before it found its way into royal bouquets. In Europe, this flower has been known for centuries. It appears in old herbal manuscripts as far back as the Middle Ages. By the 1400s, it was cultivated in monastery gardens, valued both for its beauty and for its supposed healing properties. In folklore, it was said to spring from the tears of the Virgin Mary as she wept at the cross, giving it the name Our Lady's Tears. In other legends, the flowers formed from Saint Leonard's blood during battle with a dragon in English woods. To the French, it became a symbol of luck. Since the Renaissance, Lily of the Valley has been given as a gift on May Day, the 1st of May, a tradition that continues today. A simple sprig handed to a friend or loved one is meant to bring happiness and good fortune. In Finland, it grew so loved that it was adopted as the national flower, celebrated for its delicate strength in cold climates. Across cultures, the flower always carried the same message: joy, renewal, humility. Small though it was, it became one of Europe's most enduring symbols of spring. When Elizabeth became queen in 1953, Lily of the Valley was included in her coronation bouquet. That choice echoed centuries of tradition. For her, it became a personal favorite, one that appeared not only in royal ceremonies but in private gardens and floral arrangements throughout her reign. Much like the plant itself, she remained steady and enduring year after year. Lily of the Valley is also perfectly suited to the British landscape. It doesn't demand sunlight or exotic soils. It thrives in cool, shaded woodland corners, spreading quietly through the years until it blankets the ground with green leaves and white blooms. In many ways, it reflected the Queen herself, unassuming, constant, resilient. To grow it at home, you start with pips, the tiny root segments. Plant them in fall or early spring in moist, rich soil, and place them in partial to full shade. They're slow to begin, sometimes shy in the first year, but by the second or third they multiply, rewarding patience with a thick carpet of fragrant bells. Enrich the soil with organic compost such as Coast of Maine's blends. A light touch of natural fertilizer like Espoma's flower tone helps them thrive. If slugs appear, simple, eco-friendly methods like crushed eggshells or iron phosphate pellets will protect the plants without harming the ecosystem. Economically, Lily of the Valley still has its place. Its stems are prized in the floral industry, especially for spring weddings. Brides seek them out for their elegance and tradition, often willing to pay a premium for locally grown blooms. Gardeners who pot up pips in decorative containers also find eager buyers, particularly in the spring season, when symbolism and demand align. Even pressed sprigs carry value for handmade art, cards, and keepsakes. And when Queen Elizabeth passed in 2022, many tributes included Lily of the Valley, a final nod to the flower that had walked with her from her coronation to her final days. It was more than just a plant. It was a quiet companion across the longest reign in British history. So while Diana's forget-me-nots remind us of compassion and memory, Elizabeth's Lily of the Valley speaks of renewal, constancy, and joy. Two very different women, two very different flowers, both reminding us that sometimes the smallest plants carry the greatest meaning. And just like with Diana's blooms, you don't need a palace to enjoy them. A shaded corner of your own backyard can become a place where history blooms again every spring. If you're enjoying these journeys into gardens and history, give this video a like. And don't forget to subscribe to discover more about the flowers tied to famous figures and how you can grow them yourself with beauty, meaning, and even a little sustainable income. From Diana's forget-me-nots to Elizabeth's Lily of the Valley, flowers have always carried personal meaning for queens and princesses. And for another royal figure, Princess Grace of Monaco, no flower expressed her legacy more than the rose. Grace Kelly, the Hollywood actress who became a princess, was adored worldwide for her elegance. She was often compared to a rose herself, graceful, timeless, and captivating. After her tragic passing in 1982, Monaco honored her with a gift that would live on far longer than any statue: a rose garden. The Roseraie Princess Grace opened in 1984, planted with thousands of roses from around the world. It was designed not just as a memorial, but as a living reflection of her spirit, refined, radiant, and enduring. But the story of roses reaches back far beyond Monaco. Roses are among the oldest cultivated flowers, with fossils tracing their existence back millions of years. In ancient Persia, they were prized for their fragrance and beauty. In Rome, roses symbolized luxury used in feasts and perfumes. In medieval Europe, they carried religious meaning: the white rose for purity, the red rose for sacrifice. By the 19th century, roses had become the ultimate symbol of love and romance, filling gardens from Paris to London. Grace Kelly's connection to roses tied her into this long tradition. In her garden and in her memory, roses stood as a universal language of beauty. So how do you grow roses yourself? Despite their reputation for being fussy, roses can thrive if you choose the right type for your climate. In USDA zones 5 through 9, most hybrid tea roses and floribundas perform well. For colder zones, hardy rugosa roses are reliable. They love full sun at least 6 hours a day and well-drained, fertile soil. Plant them with plenty of space for air circulation to prevent disease. For organic care, work compost into the soil each spring. Mulch to retain moisture. Feed roses with a natural fertilizer such as Espoma rose tone, which strengthens plants without harsh chemicals. Pests like aphids can be washed away with a simple spray of water or treated with neem oil, keeping your garden healthy and eco-friendly. Roses also offer one of the strongest paths to income among flowers. Fresh-cut roses are in constant demand, especially around Valentine's Day and weddings. Organic or locally grown roses can sell at a premium compared to imported ones. Rose hips, the fruit that forms after blooms fade, can be harvested for teas, syrups, and skincare. Rose petals can be dried for potpourri, soaps, or infused oils. And if you build a collection of rare varieties, you can even propagate and sell cuttings to other gardeners. In Monaco, Princess Grace's rose garden now contains more than 300 varieties. Visitors wander through paths lined with color and fragrance, each bloom a reminder of her elegance. Gardeners there say her favorite was the pink rose, soft, romantic, and full of life. The rose carries so many meanings: love, beauty, devotion, resilience. And in Grace's story, it became a way for people to remember her not through sorrow, but through something still alive, still blooming. So as we move from Diana's tiny blue forget-me-nots to Elizabeth's pure lily of the valley and now to Grace's roses, we see a pattern. Each flower, different in form and meaning, carries the essence of the person who loved it. If you'd like to bring roses into your own garden, remember that they ask for care, but they give back in abundance, in beauty, in fragrance, and even in opportunity. If this story inspired you, please like this video and subscribe for more journeys into the flowers loved by famous figures. Together we'll uncover the history, the meaning, and the ways you can grow these same blooms in your own backyard.